Wow, he wasn't lying. It's actually a new Halloween update. What's up, guys? So today I actually got a DM from Chillthrow709, the creator of Build-A-Boat, and he actually said that he likes my old videos about updating the game, and he actually wanted to see if I wanted to test out his Halloween update. Like, look right here. Hey, I saw your channel and was wondering if you'd like to try out the Halloween update as a little teaser right before it drops. And he actually sent me a link. So today I'm gonna check out this test server and see what's in here. Cause like, it'd be crazy if we actually got a Halloween update this year. Cause we haven't got one in like 4 years almost. So let's see what's inside of it. So it looks like it's a private server link or something, or maybe. So I'm gonna open this up and see what's in this test server. All right, y'all. I'm in the server that Chillthrow709 sent me, and oh my god, wow, he wasn't lying. It's actually a new Halloween update. This is crazy. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, he told me that he was going to be adding new stuff instead of just the auto updates that he's been adding for the past few years. And, well, he wasn't lying. You know, just from looking around, there's new trees. There's giant trees, Jesus. They got the old houses back, of course. You know, you got to be able to get your candy. But I also have this pumpkin. I want to go over there because, honestly, it looks exactly like this pumpkin, which, if you didn't know, when this pumpkin was first added, they actually had a giant version of this pumpkin with wooden arms just like that as a boss. And if you shoot it with a cannon, I think, you would get, you know, these pumpkins. That's how I have 200 of them. If I'm remembering that correctly. So, you know, I'm gonna go over here and check this out, because honestly, it looks pretty cool. This is the first time we've ever had, you know, something like in the water like this, you know, an obstacle that isn't like in the stages. It's, you know, and honestly, I'm here for it, you know. I've thought that, you know, Build-A-Boat has been getting way too easy lately. You know, even like the hard stages are pretty easy, even if you're just like playing the game normally without using glitches. So having something like this where you get out of the middle of the path and, you know, go onto the sides and potentially get shot by some cannons, that's really cool. It looks like he's trying to shoot at those grinders over there. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get back to my plot and check out some of this update. If you didn't know, the reason why we haven't had good Build-A-Boat updates in nearly 4 years now is because Chillthrow has been working on his other game, Revenge of the Slimes 2. And when that game released, he actually made an announcement saying that he would work on like good updates again. So I'm gonna put on some jetpack wings and some pink candy. Hopefully they add new candy. I would love new candy. And I'm going to head on out. I don't know why there's a piece of candy already on my plot. That's weird. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. Maybe candy drops from the sky, because the first ever Halloween update, there was actually a ghost that floated around the sky and dropped treasure chests, and that was actually how you got the candy. So maybe it's something like that. And, you know, back then it was only the pink, yellow, and blue candy, and we had to eat the pink and yellow candy. Well, we had to eat the purple and yellow candy just to get speed and jump. But now we have pink candy and red candy, but nobody really cares about red candy. Actually, if you didn't know, red candy is pretty useful if you're duping large objects, because when you dupe something that's very large, it's very hard because they're super heavy. But with red candy, it's not as heavy because your character is like stronger. But yeah, I'm not gonna go trick or treating. I have plenty of candy. I'm not wasting my time with that. But no, there's no candy in the shop. But presumably when the update comes out, there will be candy in the shop, and you can get the candy from the houses. So if you don't have candy, you can get it this year as well. But I'm gonna check out this guy. So yeah, he looks to be exactly just like a bigger version of this original pumpkin. I mean, if I measure this out, he looks like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. He looks like 10 times bigger than the original pumpkin, which it's really cool. I mean, some may say it's kind of lazy that instead of making a new boss, he just kind of upscaled the original pumpkin model, but you know, I think having this is better than not having anything besides the houses. So yeah, I'm going to go back to my team very slowly because I forgot to put a thruster on my back. Alright, so I got my candy, I got my thruster, and now let's check out the stages. Alright. So usually when there's new stages, it's usually like these first few stages so that people actually see them. But it doesn't really look like there's new stages. Everything looks pretty normal, but maybe the new stages just didn't spawn. But I mean, yeah, everything seems pretty normal. I'm gonna head on back now. Whoa! Okay. You know, I'm actually going to, like, test out a few myths. Because usually back when Showthrow made really, like, big updates for each seasonal event, there was usually secrets. So I'm going to test out for some secrets, and I'm going to grab a cannon. Because usually they need cannons. They usually involve shooting something. I'm going to grab a thruster. Okay. Come on. Alright, that works, I guess. Okay, so yeah, my avatar changed because I changed it off of the alien before I started this recording. But yeah, I'm gonna shoot the pumpkin. Yeah, he stopped moving for some reason. That's weird. I don't know what's that about. It probably just is bugged out. This is a test server after all. But yeah, I'm gonna shoot him, and we're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna shoot him right in the face. Oh my god! Is that green candy? Holy shoot, man! Okay, I was not expecting green candy, and especially not from a secret. Okay, I'm gonna go test this out. That's awesome. We ate it. It played the noise, but nothing's happening. I don't think the green candy works. I'm gonna be honest. Whoa! Okay, well, everything disappeared when I ate the green candy. That's... what the... Alright guys, so I told Showthrow that all the Halloween stuff disappeared, and he sent me another message, and he said he fixed it. And then when I came back to Roblox, this was all on my base. And, well, it looks like all the Halloween stuff, but it's just, like, stacked up. This is crazy. I don't know what's going on. But I think this needs some more time to cook. I mean, I'm recording this in September, but like, this is crazy. The stuff that is in here and how broken it is. Like with the green candy deleting everything and the pumpkin stop, and the pumpkin not working. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, I'm obviously lying. I built all of this. If you thought that this was a real Halloween update, I hate to break it to you, no. If you're unfamiliar with my content, my recent content at least, I've made a lot of like fake update builds in the past, and this is another one that I made recently, like a week ago. I decided to make my own Halloween update because Chill Thrill probably won't. Let's be real. But this has been a really fun project to do. You know, it's been fun to like recreate the Build-A-Boat trees and make giant versions of them, and it's also been fun to make a giant pumpkin, especially because I had to like individually make all of these polygons. But something that's different from my last update build is that this actually doesn't take any setup at all. If you guys have seen my last update build, you know that it takes like 10 minutes to set up, and I have to like individually move each part with a chair and cake. But in this version, I made it work all automatically. So I'm gonna make everything opaque. I'm gonna turn off the transparency, and I'm gonna show you guys how this works. So basically, here's all the mechanics. Every single item has a portal under it, and if you didn't know, there's this mechanic where if you take an unanchored object like this house and you put an anchored portal on it, not an anchored portal, an anchored parachute, you know, the parachute block, and it goes into an anchored portal, the anchored parachute will actually teleport to the other portal, and it will take all of the unanchored blocks with it, right? So basically, the way this build works is when I flick this lever, it moves all of the portals into the places where they need to be. This. It also moves the pumpkin where it needs to be, and it waits around 10 seconds, and then it activates all of the parachutes at once, and that teleports all of the objects there. And then it activates the pumpkin's AI, and the AI is pretty much just telling it to rotate back and forth, and then it actually like sucks up all of the portals back to spawn. And really, it wouldn't matter if I sucked them back up because they'd be invisible with collision off, but I decided to add it anyway. It was pretty easy. But yeah, this took a lot of time, a lot of effort, and I think it was worth it because, I mean, the pumpkin just looks so cool. But yeah, this took such a long time to make. It was about like a week of constant building. And, you know, the first thing I built was this big tree, and honestly, it doesn't look that great. I mean, it looks good from a distance, but it's just alright, really. But, you know, I built this, and it was pretty good. It looks weird because I turned off the transparency, but normally it looks a lot more realistic. And then I actually recreated this tree pretty much perfectly. I'll load that in a second. I recreated this tree almost perfectly, but it was way too laggy to use in this build because there would be so many of them. So I made this less laggy version where it doesn't really look as good, but from a distance it's pretty hard to tell the difference. And then I actually built these Halloween houses. I actually rebuilt these from my last update video because the Halloween houses I had in my last update video were extremely unrealistic. Like, they were not accurate at all. They were way too small, the colors were off, and they were way too, like, slanted. But they are a lot better now. And then I built the pumpkin. And the pumpkin was really fun because I had to do some pretty complex math to get the angles right, but I do think it was worth it because honestly it looks like something that could be in the game, mostly because it was in the game when these pumpkins were first added. But yeah, this is where I've been for the past week. If you're wondering why I've been gone for like a few months now, it's because my house burnt down and I haven't been able to really play Build-A-Boat, but I'm back now and hopefully I will be working on more projects. I plan on doing a Christmas update build during December, assuming that Shellthrow doesn't actually update the game himself. Yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna do a Christmas build, and just as a little sneak peek for that, I want to show you this guy I made. This is a almost perfectly accurate version of the old gingerbread NPCs that used to spawn. The scaling might be a little wonky, and I used light bulbs instead of like actually building the gumdrops, and I will fix both of those issues once I actually use this, and also there's no gap filling on these corners. But the main thing I wanted to show off about this guy is actually a system of basically AI for this guy. It's not really AI, it's not really intelligent, it just kind of walks around randomly. But like as you can see, it has almost the exact same AI as the original Gingerbread Men, where they walk around for a little bit, then they rotate randomly, and then they walk around again. And this is exactly what this guy does. He walks around for, I think, 5 or 7 seconds, and then he rotates a random amount, and then he starts walking again. And this guy, he just does it forever. Sometimes he goes in the water, sometimes he gets stuck, and honestly, it's accurate to how they worked in the original updates. But my plan is, for the Christmas update, is to have snow covering the entire map, which is going to be super hard, and then have these guys just run around everywhere. And it might be very laggy. It probably will be very laggy, but I think it'll be worth it. And one more thing to show you before I go is actually the recreation of the tree I said I made. So this thing is super accurate, except for the top part. Like I recreated the geometry of these trees like almost perfectly. And if you're wondering why I don't just use these trees, it's because they have two main issues. One is that they are way too small. They are, I think, half the size of these trees. And two is that when you paint them, they become all one color. So like the stem and the leaves become one color, when ideally you just want the leaves to become that color. And another issue is that they actually lose their gradient when you paint them. So if you can't tell, there's a gradient in like the leaves, where at the bottom it's very dark, and then at the top it goes lighter and lighter. And like if I were to paint these trees the color that they are, which is this color, the entire thing becomes dark, and you just don't want that. But here is the recreation of the tree that I made. It's almost perfectly accurate. From the top, they look almost identical, but the top part, this part right here, is pretty much completely different. But yeah, that's where I've been. That's what I've been doing. I plan on making more videos soon. You can expect a new video like maybe a month from now. If I don't give myself a deadline, I probably won't make a new video, but I am giving myself a deadline right now. 1 month from now, October 22nd, I might release a video. It might be Build a Boat for Treasure, it might not be. But yeah, that's where I've been. Thank you all for watching my video. If you made it this far, please like and subscribe. I think once I get enough subscribers, I can actually get the content creator role on the Build a Boat Discord server, which would be pretty fire because that's like a cool red username. But I appreciate all the support that y'all are giving me. See you.